with you, try to secure that engagement with you, so they really don't sleep.
Okay.
But once you wake up, you check the messages, you respond to those you're supposed to respond to, you do your scheduling, everything, then you check your boss's schedule and make sure that his, that side is also checked out and you are good to go. Once we do that, we're fine. By 6, 7 a.m. you're already talking to them, with all the morning shows and all the conversation, all the conversations that happen from morning. In Ghana, politics is morning to morning.
Yes. It doesn't end.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because you're doing morning shows, you're doing mid-morning political shows, afternoon political shows, evening political shows. All the back end stuff. So it's on your feet responsibility. Is a morning to morning job. You don't have space to say that I have a downtime or I have a free time, but this is what we said we'll do for Mother Ghana and for our party. So we are holding it.
So let's say a year about the past 2 years or so, you speak to young people, and because you're on a young people radio station, you speak to them, and all of that. I want us to get into those conversations. And all of that. So let's speak about issues. Now the NPP is campaigning to be giving the nod to that's Dr. BAWUMIA to be president for 2024 and beyond, right, for 4 years and then for the next 4 years. Let's start. What are the topical issues from your camp?
Jobs. I mean, all the places we've been to, we visited almost every constituency like twice already. We've engaged a lot of young groups. Dr. BAWUMIA has this platform because the Youth Connect, where it's predominantly young people that he engages with, his plans for them. And one thing that comes up is jobs. The young Ghanaian wants to be productive. The young Ghanaian wants to contribute to the economy. Either at the local level or at the national level. They want to be efficient and put something out there and also support, their homes as well. And so that task of creating more jobs at all levels, for every Ghanaian youth to be, actively engaged is something that cuts across all the places we've been to. And that is why if you look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's manifesto, it's there. Selfless leadership, bold solutions for jobs and businesses. So the plan for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is really how to create a lot more jobs for the young Ghanaian. So far, in the last 8 years, we've created 2.3 million jobs. And so you can imagine if even after 2.3 million jobs, there's still this call for a lot more jobs. It tells you, what the situation is. And even for us and this government, it's because of certain things that we've also put in place that has made it possible for a lot more young people to be even ready for the job market. So for example, if you have a government that comes to place and spends close to about 129 billion cedis on education alone, and basically makes it free, you've opened the floodgates for every young person to aspire and dream to be whatever it is that they want to be. Years ago, some 80 years ago, every year you have close to about 100,000 young people dropping out. What it means is that these young people have dropped out and they have no skill. They've basically added no value to themselves. So you want to work, but you really are not ready. But today we have a lot more young people who are ready, either through the grammar schools, the senior high schools, or through the technical vocational education training. They are ready. And I'm sure you see a lot of young guys move around saying they are joiners. These days, we don't talk capital anymore. Joinery, And it's because of the sort of technical vocational education that is being given to them. So you enter the technical schools and the numbers have doubled from 46,000 population to about 146,000. So close to about 100,000 young people feels that it's much more attractive to get into the technical space. Because when you want to do auto mechanic and you go to the TVET workshop in a technical school, you are looking at simulation centers. You're not looking at the old school workshops. You're looking at simulation centers where you are playing with AI and playing with robots and playing with applications that is helping you model vehicles and diagnose vehicles and be able to understand how these vehicles work and all of that. And we have created that environment for these young people. You have a lot of young people who no longer want to stay at home and they are going through secondary education. They've exited. They are ready to do something for themselves. So the need for jobs is number one on the lips of every single Ghanaian you meet. And that is why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is responding to that. That he's putting solutions that would ensure that we would create more jobs for these people. And it's outlined clearly how these things will be done.
And that's the conversation I also want us to get into. Because if we were making it interesting, attractive for people to get into all of these TVET institutions and all of that, then what becomes of the product? What do we put them? That's if there's any capacity build. Is there so that is a capacity building, but then where do we put them? And that's where the job creation
exactly.
So those specific ones that we sure.
So you've sort of tried to add value to a lot of young people.
Yes, yeah.
Now they are ready. Give them jobs. Public sector alone cannot absorb all of them, but there is a way that the state can stimulate private sector for them to be able to expand and employ more. And so there are specific direct interventions that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has outlined that he will do. And then there are other interventions that he will put in place to ensure that private sector is able to absorb these citizens who are ready to work to do it. Number one, you know, for the past 8 years, he's been working on building a solid digital architecture for this country. The digitalization drive he's been doing was not in vacuum. It is a way to prepare this country and its youth for the future. To make sure that the Ghanaian youth can rub shoulders with the Indian and with the Singaporean and Malaysian, wherever you find yourself. And today, we have KG kindergartens who are studying in smart classrooms. In the past 1.5 years, close to about 60 of these schools are up and running. You go to Atomic Junction right now, and there's a KG there, completely smart. And these are not classrooms for the elite. This is your Ghana card. And let me put it on record, the Ghana card that we have in Ghana is one of the most comprehensive databases any country has. In fact, some of the advanced first-class countries do not have the kind of database that we have. Okay, and so you have it connected to almost every touch point. It is your mobile registration ID, it is your mobile money registration ID, it is your bank account ID, it is your business registration ID, it is your pensions ID, it is your tax identification ID, it is your national health insurance ID. What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is basically doing is that usually we go and pass budgets. Budget is revenue and expenditure. How much am I going to collect? How much am I going to use? You would know how much you'll be able to collect when you know which people you are going to collect from. And here we are in the past, we didn't have. We didn't even know. Because you and I, Seth, they don't know us. The country don't know say we exist because they track us. But Ghana card has now made it possible. So you know who you are collecting from. You know who you are going to spend on. So now you're able to tell the number of young people. You know how many you are working for. Today we have close to about 11 automobile companies in this country. Okay, the Toyotas and the Nissans and all are here. Okay, how many technical vocational students are we training to be able to go into this auto space so that they will be able to have jobs to do there? These are all able, these are all capable now because of the national ID that we've introduced. Now the next level is how we'll be able to create jobs within this digital space. So he says he's going to train 1 million young people on digital skills. And digital skills, you and I know, involve so many things: hardware, software, app development, coding, database management, network, cyber security, and all of that. If you go to countries like India, millions of Indians don't work in India even though they live in India. So they live in India, but their companies are in Europe.
A lot of
remote jobs. And the guy is seated in a bunker somewhere with 4 or 5 screens. And each of these screens is one company that he's working for. I mean, we used to have call centers in this country that were based in India. So you call your telecom company and they are picking it somewhere in India or something. And that's something that can be done here in Ghana. And that's what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is talking about. Let's develop our own apps. Let's get a lot more young people to go into the fintechs, to develop things. Let them program stuff. Let them code things. Let them develop solutions for our day-to-day challenges and still make money out of it. He's going to work with the sports industry to sort of create jobs there. So he says that for Premier League teams, for instance, you know, every single Premier League team is employing people. They are not just footballers. They are young people who, without football, may probably be on the streets. So we need these football teams to survive. He says he'll give every Premier League team a bus. He would also provide support to the Premier League teams, especially when it comes to payment of compensations, salaries of these footballers. So that at least if we're able to, every team, every year, we get about 3 or 4 kudus to travel out of the country, to go and play in the Premier Leagues and the La Liga, especially Real Madrid, my team. Then, because of one match, all of a sudden, Barca not respect us. Fine. So, I mean, last 10 matches, we scored them plenty. Because of one match.
After the interview, go do
one match. They don't even get trophy like 5-6 years.
After the interview, go
do them. So you know, at the end of the day, he wants to create the kind of environment where these young people would at least stay in these football clubs, so they will be supported to pay their workers. Tourism. As we speak tomorrow, he's launching a music streaming app for the creative industry. He's also launching tomorrow a Go Ride app. That is like Uber and Bolt for our local drivers, our taxi drivers. Okay. You understand? These are digital solutions that is going to create jobs for the young people in this country. He's already made commitments, specific commitments, to increase the employment for teachers, nurses, and security services.
Do we have the infrastructure to take all of these people?
We are building 114 hospitals. 114 hospitals. Come on.
But they're not done.
But
it could take forever.
No, so for example, we started 111. About 47 of them are ready.
Fully.
Yes, we are going to commission them before December. 5 of them are in Ashanti region. These hospitals need to be filled. So we are putting up, at least in the next three years, there is a plan to recruit at least 68,000 of these health professionals. 68,000. Okay. And the infrastructure is there because we are building Agenda 111. Education, the teachers are going to have classroom to teach in, because as we speak, we are still expanding the secondary school infrastructure to be able to absorb all these Ghanaian youth that are coming into the space. But that is even beside the point. Now for private sector, that is the engine of growth, where we'll be able to really absorb a lot more of these young people. Dr. BAWUMIA says that let's stimulate the economy so that we can boost demand and at the same time help to stimulate supply. Okay. Now, he wants to introduce what we call the credit scoring system. And when we talk about credit scoring system, it solves 2 problems. It creates an environment where every Ghanaian is able to live a decent, comfortable life. Charlie, in the ball, say, as a young guy, you finish KNUST, you want to do national service. Then they pay you some 500, 600. You know, if you are working in a private company, maybe some 1K. Okay, that be our time. Mr. Matan, they be 149. I don't know how to survive, but God. No, Mr. Matan, they be 149. 149. That one said they with the queue forms.
With the old God testimony.
Yeah. But you see, that notwithstanding, this young guy is finished. A teacher and nurse, he gets a job. He's earning, let's say, 3,000 cedis. He rents a room. He needs a bed, he needs a couch, he needs a fridge, he needs a microwave. Now, 3,000 cedis, if he says he wants to save 10,000, let's say 20,000, he would have, and they ask you, how you do him? He didn't go to the car dealer to go and pay 10,000 pounds or 5,000 pounds. He went to the car dealer, showed the car dealer that I get about 1,000 pounds every month. This is your car. If you give me 5 years, I can get you the money to pay. But why should I wait for 5 years before I get the car? I go walk car, give me the car. Let me drive it now and pay you small. And that's what happens all over the world. So all they will do is that they will pick his ID, go into the system, check the system, and then they will realize that, oh, this guy, with the amount of money he takes, he can pay me, let's say, 200 pounds every month. Okay. Then I give him the car. So when you go out there, young people are able to quickly have that space and do things for themselves, because you will get the couch, you will get the microwave, get the fridge, everything. You have a comfortable environment. At least if you come home, if you think, and you pay on small. But in Ghana, that is the opposite. Okay. You need to have cash. Walk to any of these companies you can think of and go and buy the fridge, or go and buy the bed, or go and buy the TV. And because you don't have the cash, every 2 years you buy one. Okay. This year you buy a fridge. Wait for 2 years before you go buy a microwave. By the time you go buy the microwave, the fridge you buy says 4. Okay. If you don't take care, if you go repair.
On a lighter note, just on a lighter note, the boys know they want couch. Or what's not plan or something.
Yeah. Now you see I can I was saying Jerry the idea, no. You see I'm planning so girls didn't pay the idea. It's like girls didn't pay the you're wrapping with, you know, material and so far. When you are there, never try your knees. So you you need that space to get people to have access to these things. So he says credit score system. Go to the dealer, buy the thing. He looks at your credit rating. He gives you the item. The bank pays the supplier directly. So you see, it's not the person you are buying from who is paying for the thing. The banks are ready, waiting for you to walk into a dealer shop, for the dealer to share the information and say, Miracles has come to buy a couch.
Okay.
Then all of them will receive Miracles request and say, oh, this is his rating, oh, it's good. 4 or 5 financial institutions can even make an offer to a dealer. And this things happen with a click. Then he will pick one and give you the item. Then every month you pay him some. Okay. Go to the US, go to the UK. People are buying mobile phones and paying $3, $4 a month. We can do it in Ghana. Now what that does is that, apart from the fact that it make everybody they get something make it live on, it also creates the need for more of these things, because now all 6 of us in this room now go buy a couch.
Okay.
But previously only 2 of us saved the money where you make ready with the go buy. So 2 couches are sold in a week. But now 6 couches will be sold in that week. It means that that company need to go and produce more. Is that it? So that he can supply a lot more demand. Now if you're going to produce more, what will happen? You have to create jobs, because you need more hands. So you see, he's fixing the front end and fixing the back end all at the same time. Now he goes on to say that he needs to create an environment where businesses like YFM. So YFM, as we do here right now in Kumasi, you they pay taxes, you know, so
plenty.
Yeah, and sometimes the taxes self, GRA they do them some way. The way that they calculate them and things, you know the fee understand them. Today they say you they pay 10,000, the next day they say they pay 20,000. So if you go your end of year management meeting self, you are unable to project how much your taxes will be for 2025. Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA is saying that it is causing uncertainty for businesses. So in order to make the businesses plan and more them project well, so now he's going to introduce a flat rate system for all businesses. So YFM next year, you're able to tell how much you pay in taxes. Then you know how much you can save. So you can use that to determine which new segment you go introduce on your show. So say say Charlie, this one make I introduce another producer and another DJ. Charlie, sometimes one producer it go produce 4 or 5 shows. It tire. You understand? But YFM gets the space. YFM get the space. It go for employ more, make others. You know. So once he creates that space for them, he'll be able to get a lot more businesses to employ more. Then there is this 3% GDP cards.
I want us to come on to that. And so one of the things I get is we are doing a cause and effect. If people cannot, if we can see what is causing this, we sort it out, and then the multiplier effect.
Absolutely.
There are a few things I also want us to get into. Just after you talk about the GDP part, I want to hear about what agriculture looks like and what the solutions are there. But we want to support private people. Okay, so quick spin, quick commercials. We'll be back to finish up this conversation.
Do good business.
Yes.
Hello, Ghana. Junior Black Friday is live from 1st to 29th of November.
Wow, check their deals, appliances, homes, products, and even beverages. Junior's got the best deal on everything we need.
Download the Junior app and enjoy unbeatable Black Friday deals. Deals more in it, plus free nationwide delivery from Samsung, Techno, Brown, and many more. Junior, so every
dramatical. There's we play NPP ads.
Okay.
Then there's NBC ads as well. So I'm just saying, I'm like, imagine I'm going to commercial break, and then the next thing that pops up is a GM ad.
If I come, I will respond to one. If I come, if I hear I come now, I will respond to one.
So the right alien, and they will use, is Ghana going to provide cars or still partnerships, so dealer and all.
So the initial arrangement is basically to create that space for the taxi drivers to make them compete. Because when I say right now, a lot of people don't even go to taxi ranks. You know, they don't go to taxi ranks anymore. They don't even come to their junctions to come and pick ride. They are just ordering using Bolt, Uber, Yango. So really the taxi drivers they suffer. And then even those who are on Bolt, Yango and Uber, they are paying 20%, 25% commission and things to these companies. So those are 2 challenges that the Vice President wants to solve. So this app is basically it's a locally developed app, predominantly for the taxi drivers. So say now you can also pick an app and order a taxi driver without necessarily being restricted to Uber and Bolt. It will help the taxi drivers too, because then they just drive or they just a room.
And I think it's got to do with, people feeling insecure.
Exactly. Yes.
My guy here, you want like this, he pick taxi. They run back.
Because you know if you identify them. But when there's an app, because they've signed up, the identities are there and all of that. Like the way Uber they, you go follow up on those things and know who the person is. That'd be one. And then the other side also be the commissions on this one be lower. I think it's about 5 to 10% or so. But then the other ones like 20-25%. So most of the Uber Bolt drivers may end up moving to this app because the commissions are
because you know, we take just taxis, you could take this one.
Oh yeah. I mean, once you
I mean, this is far-fetched because I've always been of the view that if like I said, 25% and all of that. Imagine you're talking about partnering with PPP and all of that, public-private partnership. So there's somebody like Kantanka. This is my thing. There's somebody like Kantanka. Can't we allow Kantanka to do some of this very small
So that's the whole essence of the private sector collaboration. You understand? So because recently I think Kantanka even started producing small vehicles like that.
So hand in hand, there's Ride Go, there's Kantanka, then there's someone me that I'm done with NSS and if you ride, I don't ride them.
Exactly. So you're making the point. That is the main reason why some of these things, when they are being introduced, you should not trivialize it. Because, for example, what we call work and pay, okay, similar to the credit scoring system that we say. Why should, for example, Kantanka give you a vehicle? Kantanka will give you a vehicle to work and pay small when he knows that you have the capacity to pay. And don't forget, with the credit rating and credit scoring system, it will be Kantanka where they pay for the thing for you, not being the gift to you. There are financial institutions. They will come and pay Kantanka. And then Kantanka will give you the vehicle. So technically, you owe a financial institution and not necessarily your dealer or Kantanka. So it'll be very important and it will help a lot of young people. You see, because if you go fit do
the boys you go see, you finish university,
exactly.
But and it's not it not be our job because if
you make money how
you finish in first degree, but if you go to the one this thing and you know some of the boys also they prefer. What's your boys now?
Boys go do. Boys go do, especially these days too. You know the rice be very sleek.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boys go do. But you know these days, there are corporate boys who they do these things.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I met
side hustle.
I pick both. They be doctor.
I met a guy in Accra, IT guy for one of the big banks. He was like, okay, so he's doing both because he was bought from Qatar. He wants to know Accra.
Yeah.
The only way to know Accra is to be riding around. So if you close them on boat.
Side hustle. You go make something small, then you go.
One thing to be very important to me, I don't know if it's a system or something, where they control the prices of things here. Because my boss, I tell you right now, the cost of rent even for Kumasi.
Yeah, true. I think people they abuse them. Everybody do.
And the whole thing is, I think even with taxes, because people don't pay taxes because every family, I want to.
Oboni team no aboma. About 1 year, man, no actually pay. Yeah.
Right now, at the rate even landlords they charge for rent per month.
If they do them, if you want, take her. If you don't want,
exactly. And I think there's nothing checking on there because we are pen or digital.
Yeah. So we liberalize the market.
So I think one of the things that even if NPP starting to become better, more people attention because rents they code we they use right now are not gonna lie. You go work the whole 2-3 years and they don't even take 1 year.
Yeah.
Or just advance 2 years. And no new option.
Yeah.
So it's kind of about what we are doing now.
And I say meeting.
Kaba.
Yes.
I'm not
gonna lie. Right now, the rest of Kumasi single room. The list will be 400 cities.
And it make like then they plan. They go. And
nobody is saying anything to them. And they have they also the done some agents. And the agent too would take 10%.
The more the money agents, the more the money.
So right now,
they just go tell us they make it
price. No.
Yeah, it's
very sad because Obeshi Obias is
Let me say, tell Chebi you are not a show. Or Chebi you are not a show.
I don't live, so
the guy say, he say I use what tactics?
I say use what tactics.
I come the president. I tweet him, he say
use Machiavellian tactics. You know what to do.
He use Machiavellian, he don't call me out.
Yeah.
Level up and make the smarter choice.
So he just
So it is still there. Me, I don't see him. I don't see him.
See, I'm the first person you are.
I don't see.
When you see, there come people around me. But I don't come here. You can say, "Come here, be there, Charlie." I drive from Kumasi, come Accra for this thing.
I don't
raise my hand, nothing. I say,
so I don't know.
Because me, my biggest story with that. But if you go for consider for we the street boys, you go be happy.
Yeah, it be true.
It be crazy. If you know, say everywhere, they like this. I want to say, baby, I say so. You go. Somebody takes 700. Well, they pay for this month.
And the thing self in the pen, we say. It don't be say that they make you they pay a monthly, sir.
No.
But if they pay a monthly, that one there, if they say even if they say 600, where they take 3K or 4K, you don't say if you get that. But this one you go pick.
Somebody take 3 years.
It be crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, it be crazy.
And nobody they talk anything to them. So you know
that be somebody.
Alright, so if you are just tuning in at the top of the hour, beautiful Tuesday morning, and then we're having a beautiful conversation. The communications director for the 2024 NPP election campaign, none other than I'm taking the Mr. out. So none other than my guy.
Don't play me out.
Miracles ABOAGYE, and we've been talking about jobs, we've been talking bold solutions, we've talked about technology part. We've mentioned education, we've mentioned health sector. You're going to talk about GDP, and I was also going to introduce agriculture. So you continue from the GDP, and then let's touch base on what the solutions are for agri.
So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia basically is saying that we need to get private sector to do more, because once they are doing more, then they can employ more people. But you know, government also does a lot of business with private sector. So what he's basically saying is this: we need schools, we need roads. We need hospitals, a lot of infrastructure. But just as I explained with the credit scoring system, government doesn't have all the money at once. That is why every year we're able to build some roads. But the country is inching closer to about 100,000 kilometers of road networks. And yet in the last 12 years or so, government of Ghana hasn't done even up to 20,000 kilometers of roads. All governments, I mean, Mahama did 4,000 kilometers of road in the entire tenure. Dane Kufado's government has done 12,000 kilometers of roads. We have close to over 100,000. So let's get private sector to own some of these processes. Instead of governments making money to go and build roads, putting money into classroom and build them. Once it's done, then government will take its time and pay bit by bit over a long period of time. The advantage is that government is going to be able to have all these things for the people to use whilst we pay small than the current scenario where we are looking for money to build it, we can't finish. Some of us, if we go secondary school, then we go sit in class like 50 in class, and then we go finish. Okay. You understand? But if we have private sector coming in to put up some of these classrooms and lease to government, come and build and lease to government, so government will pay small over a long period of time, then the people will get to use it now than the current situation. What it does is that if we're able to succeed at that, BAWUMIA will be cutting down close to 30 billion of money that government of Ghana should be looking for to do this infrastructure for private sector, which at the same time would give private sector room to do more and then employ more people to work with them. So these are some of the creative ways that he's working at. But critically, he's looking at creating that financial muscle to support the Ghanaian businessman. So he's going to set up the SME bank, Small Medium Enterprises Bank. You know, we have ADB. ADB is to support agri and farming and agribusiness. We are going to have an SME bank to support small medium enterprises, because in Ghana, about 80 to 90% of businesses in Ghana are SMEs. There are very few, just about 20% big multinationals. All the businesses you see running around, they are small medium enterprises that is employing, and they alone are employing about 90% of the workforce. So if you stimulate them and give them the needed capacity, they will be able to do so much and employ more. And I already did the YFM scenario. That if YFM has the needed support, they will be able to employ an additional producer and an additional, sound person. And that's like 2 more jobs created. So he's going to do that through the SME bank. Now, women have special focus, especially young people, young girls. These days, say if you go Instagram, plenty CEOs. Those our girls CEOs, Snapchat and Instagram, plenty CEOs. And these girls are doing fantastic business. See, some of them are on Instagram and Snap, and they are turning over close to about 2,000-3,000 every day. Because people, they order online, they deliver them to you. All these are facials and all these are skincare stuff and all those things. These girls need help, they need support. And if they get the needed help and support, they'll be able to pick 1 or 2 or 3 people. And if there are deliveries happening, these are also jobs being created. And for these girls, because he has a special focus for women, he's going to set up the Women Trade Empowerment Fund. And this fund is going to support women businesses. The Edum woman who is selling, the KJT woman who is selling in the market, the young girl that is doing e-commerce on Instagram and Snapchat. He's going to give them special attention and special support to be able to expand their businesses and employ more people to sweep around all these people who are looking for jobs to work in there. Then we come to agribusiness. So mechanizing agriculture is top priority. So first of all, he's going to create the agri mechanization centers in every district. You know what we've done with drip? Drip?
Seeing the whole tracks.
Everywhere is dripping, So the roads are dripping right now. So every district has a set of road construction equipment under drip. Roller, payloader, tipper truck, backhoe, concrete mixing machines, so that we can get some roads. And you can see all the work that is going on, in our neighborhoods. He's going to do a similar thing with agric. And what the agric mechanization center is simply going to do is that every district is going to have set of agric equipment, which the farmers in that district are going to use to do mechanized farming. So you see, me I be young, I won't do farming, but I don't make ready say I go hold cutlass and go cut with. It be too much work. What I want is to be sitting there as CEO of Miracles Farms. And then I go hire some tractor, I go hire some irrigation machine, I go hire some spraying machine, then it will work for me. And then at the same time, they get support from some small fund to support me to do it. And there are a lot of young people who are willing to do this. But because of the way we have presented and postured agriculture, they become very attractive to the young people. Still, you go to certain areas, they will see agric like some poor people's job, some village job. But you and I know, say, if you go Texas, go California, the rich people are the agric people. The farmers are the rich people.
What would access to finance look like for agribusiness?
Awesome, because it sits under the SME bank. Because if you go and register your small agribusiness, Miracle Farms Limited, it's a small SME, you go into the same maze, and 1 acre is giving them about 20. And you wonder how, why? I mean, the climate in Brazil and Ghana is almost that is another aspect where Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA they look at to see say we go feel use and move a lot more young people to get into that space. Trust me, agribusiness is one of the places if we're able to break through and get our young people to find attractive, we are good to go. Because that one, they become your own CEO at the same time. And see, food everybody they chop food.
Sure.
So if you produce food, you never go loose.
Okay.
You understand? And that's another aspect and another area he's looking at.
Right.
as
DBM has got a lot. I'm not even sure we'll be able to exhaust all of this in one conversation. Maybe on a lighter note, I'll ask you to say, we may have 4 years if you are given a mandate and the next 4 million.
Oh, say every 4 years, Biane or how ever. Until just 4 years, no problems in the bar. Yeah, cutting solutions for the next 4 as well. So, for example, in 2016, we had 100,000 young people who couldn't go to school because they are poor. Right now, no day again. Because we do free SHS.
Okay.
So that problem we solve.
Right.
2025, 2028 in problem come. We will find solution for that one as well.
Great. I'm sure all of this conversation is ending at one particular point as we are trying to wrap up. If I come again.
I will come. I will be a day. From now on to December, me and you.
It ends at one particular message you are sending out to people. And what's the message?
You see, especially for Gen Zs, and why Kumase, that's where the Gen Zs are listening. We are at the crossroad. Ghana is at a point where we need a leader to take us into the future. And it's no joke, it's a serious matter. for a lot of our young people who are listening to us right now and watching us on social media and whatever, you'd realize that they really do not have memories of the former president and what he did to this country. So what they know is Nana Akufo-Addo and his cabinet. You know, the 18-year-old that is registered for these elections was 10 years under Mahama.
Yeah.
So at 10 years, you know if you understand what Doomsaw is. You know if you understand what it means to say that somebody dropped out of school and didn't pay fees. You have no idea. Even for free SHS beneficiaries, because they went to school and they didn't pay fees, they assume it's a normal thing to do. But in the past, people had to pay, people had to be sacked from classroom. I have been embarrassed and disgraced in class. I went to a mixed school, Okwapman school. Charlie, every time me alone they will sack me. Anytime they sack school fees, I did. So me at their school, they fear Beza pass headmaster. The headmaster for pay fees before me, so I will become student. Yeah. But Beza day my class every day, and the class I did, we do literature, French, and CRS. Girls, song 46 girls, 3 boys. Wow. Boys to do the 6 front. Boy, if you sit classroom front, you be drawn. So we they sit back. Okay. Beza come and you day corner, you know go for run.
Yes, then
Charlie. Charlie, where's your face? Every day the girls they watch your face. Okay. Then you shy. Your spirit is dampened. Your pride is gone. Your confidence is destroyed simply because your father or your mother were in the office. And a lot of dreams were cut short because they couldn't have access to education. You and I did this studio because of education. You understand? So we have a government that has been able to remove that barrier and ensure that as we speak, about 5.7 million of our brothers and sisters have benefited from free senior high school. That needs to be protected. That is at risk if we make a mistake and vote for the former president and not Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA. We need to protect that free SHS and upgrade it and improve upon it than even as it is right now. Now, let's remind our people that this former president, when he was president for 4 years, left the entire country in darkness. As a matter of fact, under his presidency, you will get electricity only twice in a week. The light goes off today, Tuesday, and it will come back on Thursday evening. It comes up on Thursday evening, then it goes off Saturday morning, then you have to wait for another 72 hours to 48 hours to 72 hours. Businesses were collapsed. Companies shut down. People lost their jobs. In fact, there were people who were on surgery beds about to receive surgery who died because of electricity. There were hospitals who planned to have surgeries for patients and cancelled it because they didn't have power and they didn't want to buy fuel. Children were studying on the streets under street lights in this country. For years, this country went through the agony and anguish of not having power and electricity. And today, we've survived and we've managed to turn things around, and we've had at least stable power for the last 8 years. See, recently, up somewhere May, June, when we had some 6 weeks power crisis. But you see what people go through. 6 weeks old. And imagine what we experienced in 6 weeks. That we experienced this for 4 years under the former president. See, under the former president, the poor person's child could not go to nursing college and teacher college because the allowances that they rely on to go to school was cancelled by the former president. Nurses, teachers who completed in 2014, 2015, 2016 were not employed under the former president because he says there was no money. In fact, teachers and nurses who worked under the former president were not paid. They work for 12 months and they are paid for only 3 months. That is the kind of president he was. And for this person, we cannot afford to have him back as president because of all the danger he poses to us. And these things that I'm telling you are things that he even did when he was still coming back to us to come and ask for an additional tenure to go as a president. So you can imagine, just imagine a certain Mahama who is no longer going to come to us and vie for president. Just imagine a certain Mahama who has no reason to be accountable to us because he is not coming to us and ask for us for anything. Just close your eyes for a minute and imagine. At some point under his presidency, when medical doctors requested that he increases their conditions of service and salaries, he told them that he's a dead goat and that they can go to hell. They can strike all they want. He doesn't care. And that he's a dead goat and is no longer afraid of knives. Okay. He told the poor persons in colleges of education and health that if it is only about their allowances that they will vote against him, then they can all go ahead and vote against him. That is the man that was president before. And that is the man that is asking that we make him president. Let's vote for Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA. He represents the youth. He's a youthful man. He understands the needs, the plight, and the concerns of the young people. He's a believer in the future that is ahead of us as young people. He believes that the Ghanaian youth has the capacity to compete with any youth anywhere around the world when the right environment is created, and that's why he's investing so much in mechanics. He's vibing with the traders, and he has a plan for each and every one within these sectors. And that's why I and so many other young people believe that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the right man to represent the youth and build the Ghana that we all aspire to live in.
Thank you very much, and that's the message. Cassius, vote for bold solutions. I'm sure that's the message. You hear?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cassius, who could vote for bold solutions? Who could vote for the future of the future of AI, the future of robotics, the future of unlimited access to the dreams that you want to have as young people.
Miracles, thank you for coming today, and I'm sure you're going to come through another time.